Cotton cola. So, in case you didn't know, I am a huge fan of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and I was partially excited to see this movie because I'm such a big fan of his, and the trailer looked cool. I knew that this movie wouldn't be necessarily a good movie, but I was hoping that this movie would be a ton of fun, a ton of mindless fun, and it was for the last half of the movie, but before that, before we get to all the action, all that stuff is absolute garbage. Okay, so first off, let me tell you the good about this movie. Like I said before, the action. The action in this movie is great, especially in the 3D. Surprisingly, the 3D in this movie is actually really good. Now let's get to the bad stuff about this movie, which is the entire rest of the film. Okay, first of all, the characters. The characters are so poorly written and cliched, they actually feel like video game characters, which might be appropriate for this type of movie because Rampage is based off of a video game, but I don't know. Naomie Harris's character is useless and stupid. The Rock's character is basically a god because he survives everything. There's a brother and sister duo which is somewhat related to the reason why all these animals are becoming huge and destroying the city and whatnot. They are both cringeworthy. I don't really blame the actors, but just the characters are just so cringeworthy, and their subplot story arc was really dumb. Also, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Now, I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He seems like a nice guy, and he's a really good actor. But in this movie, he speaks with this over-the-top southern accent, and it is just so ridiculous. Other than that, the film's tone is inconsistent. There are so many jokes that do not work, but they're also trying to hammer in this dramatic story, I guess. And the dialogue is horrendous. There are so many plot holes. And I know I said this already, but I'm going to say it again because I really have to emphasize about how awful the jokes are in this movie. They are so cringeworthy. I think that this film is probably tied for my least favorite film starring The Rock. This film is tied with Tooth Fairy for being my least favorite film. I probably hate one of these films more than the other, but I really did not like this film, and I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 10.